Welcome to reality. My name's Captain Crush, and there's going to be 2 to 3 must-plays that you should have in all of your contests on PrizePicks, Sleeper, and a lot of them. I appreciate you stopping by. If you want to stick around, that's great. If you want to skip right now, that's whatever too. But I'm telling you right now, I will keep it realistic. I will keep your expectations tempered, and hopefully we crush. With that in mind, let's break this 14-game slate down. Absolutely, that's right. In all of Adam Silver and the NBA's infinite wisdom, they gave us no games yesterday and 14 today. Then, I think we have 3 or 4 tomorrow, something ridiculous. I've been saying this since 2015. It should be 5 to 7 games every day. That's it. It would cut down on the injuries, the load management, all the nonsense, give the boys time to rest, give the content creators time to breathe like myself. Imagine being a content creator and going through 14 games with a bunch of hungry degens craving a W. It's just ridiculous. I could literally give you 50 plays today that I like, that are all I could say you should play this and that for whatever reason. I could give you 50 of them. No joke, because there's 14 games. That's 28 teams for those of you that know how to do math. 28 different teams are going to take in the court. So I'm starting to sound like one of you guys crying about an L. All right, let's move on. Okay, so the first guy that I'm going to discuss today, the man who my night is most likely going to hinge on, is Malcolm Brogdon. Oh my goodness. This is why. Anthony Simons is still out. The guy, he's out, okay? But it's a 222 point total. It is an 8-point spread favoring the Kings. This is the same team, the Kings, that just got beat by 40 plus points at halftime, and then it ended up being like 16 to 20 or something like that. But the game was over at half the last time they stepped onto the court. Both of these teams, all of the teams, had a day rest, so everyone should be fresh. But Malcolm Brogdon, PrizePicks hasn't even been putting a fantasy score for this guy on the board. They've been lackluster on most of his props. The fact that they have a fantasy line out now scares me. It really does. But my model has him projected for 45 fantasy points. And with that, I cannot ignore it. And I'm not afraid of the Kings defense, and you shouldn't be either. The 8-point spread does scare me. I'm not going to lie. But if this game can somehow stay close, then we should have nothing to worry about, and Brogdon should be able to cover, okay? Let me flash over to my notepad real quick. I got him going for 45 fantasy points. He was at 42. Then I added in the fact that Simon and them are out, and it bumped up to 45. 1.20 fantasy points per minute, 27% usage rate, okay? That's a pretty good usage rate for a guard like him. I know he's not a great player. I'm not sitting here singing praises that Malcolm Brogdon is some hero to the masses. He's not. He never was. He never will be. He's a glorified role player, but the fact still remains, elite matchup, elite usage. To be honest, there's no true alpha on this team. What? I'm supposed to tell you that DeAndre Ayton's a true alpha? No. So he's just filling in shoes. Hopefully he can continue to crush. If he sells, well then I'm going to lose money tonight. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because I can lose, and I tell you guys this all the time. I don't win every day. I don't mind losing 21 days straight, because on that 22nd day, that is when I hit 5 to 7 25x slips, and I get it all back with interest. Unlike you guys, most of you who are just betting random units and random slips and just doing whatever emotion guides you because you're dictated by your emotions, I don't do that. So let's just go ahead and plug Mr. Brogdon in there and pray to God that he gets it done, okay? If you don't want to take his fantasy score and you think that's a little bit too high, because it is high, let's be real, you can go over to his rebounds. If they had his assists up here, I would say maybe that too. They do have a rebounds and assist, but you could just take his rebounds if you want. He should chuck up some shots, maybe his points, rebounds, any of those would be fine, but I want to stick it to fantasy. Again, this doesn't feel good. Even putting this in, even when I made the contest earlier, it doesn't feel good. I don't know if he's going to be in a lot of my slips. He's going to be in my high dollar slips though, but I'm not going to be overexposed to him as like I was the other day. The other day I was overexposed to Miles Turner, Anthony Davis, and I forget who the other guy was, but it was all blowouts. It was all crazy, and it cost me but I did end up getting a 5-man slip to hit for 10x, and it covered my day because that is how I build my slips. Crushionomics method. There's a video on it a couple months back. Go ahead and watch it. The next person I want to discuss is going to be the man himself, Aaron Gordon. The dude has been a cash cow for me, okay? 39 fantasy points against the Pellies, 42 against the Chicago, Dallas 41, 10 against Minnesota. He had that bad game, and then 29 against Utah. Listen, Jamal Murray's still out, so somebody has to step up and take that usage. Remember, Bruce Brown is gone too. He's on a different team now. That's no longer the case. So Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. have been filling in and have been stepping up, and so has Jokic. So this is is the deal. Draymond Green at the time of this recording has been ruled out. When Draymond was in, I liked his fantasy score. It was 25.5. Seemed like a free square to me, no cap. But the fact of the matter is this. Both of these teams are the premier teams in the West. These are the defending champs. Warriors are a dynasty. Both of these teams think they're elite. They are elite. And I like the matchup. I like the game script. I like all of it. I just like these two teams to face each other. I feel like both of these teams are going to show up because both of them want to get W's. Both have injuries on either side. So Aaron Gordon, he was at 32. They moved him down to 31.5. He was at 29.5 the other day, or he opened at 30. They moved him down to 29.5. It literally scared me a little bit and I got off of it, but now I don't let that affect me. I'm back on him, 31.5. I'm taking it. And as you can see here, back to my notepad, I got him 18% usage rate, 1.02 fantasy points per minute. Now I have on here Jokic more 60, okay? Jokic, let's just say you don't want to play Aaron Gordon. Fine, that's absolutely fine, because if you think that Aaron Gordon can't go out there and sell, you're absolutely kidding yourself. He absolutely can and has before many a time. But we can't let recency bias, past results affect our future decision. So he's still in play. But if you don't want to take Aaron Gordon, you can slide on over to Joker, the man, the myth, the legend, the reason the Denver Nuggets are champs. And he's at 60 fantasy score. That's absolutely absurd. A 60 burger. What? I said a 60 burger. It's absurd, but this is the world we live in. 60 fantasy points for Joker's too low. I have him projected for 65. Absolutely 65 fantasy points. Now, whenever you put someone to go over 60 points, it's always going to be scary. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not guaranteed. It's always going to be a sweat. 60 is a big number. It's a big number. But he's absolutely in play, my friends. I would not go under on him. I mean, if you want to take the pivot contrarian approach and think, hey, Jokic is at 60 and I'm just going to take less on it. Normally, in a normal situation, I would do that. I'd be right there with you, shaking your hand, being like, yeah, we're taking under on this puppy. But Jamal Murray being out, that's a big chunk of their offense, okay? And also, no more Bruce Brown. That's a big chunk of their former offense that came off the bench. Now, Jokic has stepped up. He's always been up, to tell you the truth, but I'm going to go ahead and take my shot. Hopefully, he shows up. Again, I wouldn't put these two in the same slip. You can, but I don't like the correlation. It's more likely that one of them gets there and the other one doesn't. Because remember what the entire thing is. We're trying to buy low and sell high, but we're also trying to target guys that can hit their ceilings. And two guys in the same game hitting their ceiling is very unlikely. But if you stacked up CJ Stroud, Schultz, Tank Dell the other day for the friggin' Houston Texans, you would have won $1 million, because that's what shipped the Millie Maker. That's absolutely insane, but it worked. Noah Brown, Tank Dell, Schultz, and Stroud won somebody $1 million on DraftKings. Zudichow, who's absolutely a legend. He's probably the best DFS player there is. He actually won $1 million with that. $1 million. So it's not the rule. There are exceptions, but I would still say I wouldn't put both of these guys in the same slip. However, if you don't want to take Joker's 60 fantasy score, you can go down here to the bumped line of his R plus A. I got this yesterday at 22. It's now been bumped up 1.5 points. Why? Because everybody and their brother is touting this prop. And with that, I'm going to segue to this. Listen, there's tons and tons of people who are I hate that word, cappers. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest word. Don't call me a capper, okay? It's just dumb. I'm a guy that discusses fantasy sports and breaks it down to try to help you out. That's it. The capper stuff is cap. It's nonsense. So everybody and their mother, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever, are touting these props, okay? When they do that, the public, Joe the plumber, no, Joe the public sports bettor goes and he puts it in his little slip. And then all the money comes in and it causes lines to move. That's how it works. These sports books are here to take your money. That's it. So when money comes in on one side, they have to cover their bases. So they raise the prop, and then that influences people to take unders, but it also gets people taking overs at an inflated line, and then they can still clean up on the same prop. Okay. But I told you this because I try to give you guys variety. I try to give you props that other people aren't talking about. That's my whole stick, because if I just come on here and give you the same props that every Twitter account, every self-proclaimed professional capper that's 18 with no face on Twitter who sounds like a Girl Scout is giving you, then what value do I provide? I'm just another one of many, another name. That would be a lot easier easier for me. That'd make my job a lot easier. I'd get to play a lot more golf, Xbox, everything, hang out with my girl, everything that I like to do, I'd get to do more of it. But no, I get in this dumpster, I crawl around, I dig, and I try to find other value that other people aren't talking about. And that, my friend, is why you keep coming back and why you should come back. I'm not going to get it right every night because I'm going off the board here. I'm going off the grid. The road less travel is where I'm taking. But I don't want you just to be reliant on my quote picks. I want you to be reliant on this, the thought process. I want you to start thinking about things how I do, and that will help you with your process. I'm begging you to understand that. I'm telling you it's the truth. So I digress. Off the soapbox, you can take 23.5. It's totally inflated and bumped. But again, the Warriors struggle against the bigs. The 4 and the 5, they struggle. And now no Draymond. I ain't afraid of Looney. Let me tell you that. So you can go ahead and take either one of these 3. You could even throw in this guy. He's the biggest discounted of the 3, but I like all 3. Michael Porter Jr. fantasy, Joker rebounds plus assist, even with the bump, it's in play, but it's not anywhere near a core play. It's a dart. Nikola Jokic 60 fantasy score and Aaron Gordon 31 fantasy score. Any one of those 3 are gonna be in play, okay? I will have exposure to all 3 of these. And to tell you the truth, Porter Jr., he's the least safest of the 3, but that's why his line is the lowest, 29.5. So I do like taking that. It gives me exposure to the same spot, and it's a lot easier for him to clear 29.5 than it is for someone to clear 60. That's simple math, buddy. Let me get a drink. I'm parched. So enough about Denver. Let's talk about somebody else, okay? This Wizards Hornets game? Oh, buddy. This is the game of games. The king of king. Highest point total other than the Pacers. The Pacers game would be the king of kings, but they got that blowout equity and that blowout potential, and it scares me. It scares me like a little baby. So let's talk about Charlotte versus Washington. Oh, could it get any worse than these two teams defensively? Both of these teams play at an extremely high pace. They both play no defense, and both sides, they ain't it. So, Rozier's out, so we automatically know LaMelo Ball's in play. Bang. 49.5 fantasy points. Bang. He's in play. This is the same situation as Denver, but instead of 3, I'm going to talk about 2, Hayward and LaMelo Ball. Either one of these guys can clear their fantasy score. Both my model projections have them both going over. According to my research, LaMelo is no longer on that minutes restriction. Again, Terry Rozier is out. It's a high point total, no defense, pace up spot. I like them both. Neither one of these guys are safe. Make no mistake about it. They're not safe, okay? But they're absolutely in play. They're going to be in my slips, a lot of them, and I will take either one of them. Again, I'm not taking them both in the same slip. If I don't have Gordon, I'll have LaMelo. If I don't have LaMelo, I'll have Gordon. Both of those guys are in play, and they should be on your radar, okay? Now, you're going to want a run back. You're going to want somebody from that other side, and you have dealer's choice. You got Kuzma, Jordan Poole, Danny Avdija. Any one of these 3 can be in play, okay? I liked Poole's points the other day. They bumped it up, so now you can take a look at his fantasy score. He's been clearing that. Danny Avdija, absolutely in play. Kyle Kuzma, absolutely. Again, all 3 of these guys projected to go over via my model. I'm not going to go into their usage rates and fantasy points per minute because I'm still considering them darts, but I wanted to talk about darts for you guys to give you guys where your brain should be talking. Remember, I'm not here to give everything away. My goal is just to bring you parts of the board that you should be looking at and that you should get your mind right, okay? Real quick, I'm going to hop off the train and hop on this train that I've been on. Tobias Harris. The man has been cashing me every single night. Look at these last 5 green beans. 32, 33, 42, 39, 30. Odds are he's going to get 28 to 29 tonight, okay? This game, probably the best actual basketball game you could sit down and watch as a fan. It should be good. It should be defensive, offensive. It should check all the boxes. But for fantasy purposes, I'm not sure how good it's going to be. Both of these teams, a lot of mouths to feed. It should be good, though. Tobias Harris, this is a big if, do not hop on this train unless he's been cashing you. If he's been cashing you, you can go ahead and take a shot on him tonight at 27. This is lower than what he's been at. He was at 28.5, 28. Now he's down to 27. I know they're thinking it's going to be a slower paced defensive game, but I still like him in this role at 27 fantasy points. He just has too high of upside for it to be at 27, okay? So it's 100% in play, and I will have exposure to him because he's been my cash cow, and for that reason, that's enough alone. If he chalks me tonight, who cares? He's already got me 25x, 10x, 2x, 5x, all the X's, baby. He's gotten it for me. So put that man in your player pool because he's in play, all right? And then we have the last person that I'm going to talk about on this here video. My, oh my, it's Miles Turner, baby. Did you think anyone else was going to be talked about other than Miles Turner? Right now, Your boy Cap, I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. And I don't know if it's because Miles Turner's in my slip or if it's just because it's hot as heck in my house and I just ate pot roast. I'm not sure. But the fact still remains. Miles Turner, he's in a great game script. He's in a great environment. A super high point total, the highest on the slate, might I add. Second to Washington and Hornets. But he has blowout equity. That's an 8-point spread, I believe. So 32.5 versus Utah. It scares me. Utah's been getting blown out by everybody. They haven't even been putting up a fight. But the fact is, Miles Turner can get this done in 3 quarters. That's crazy to say, but he can. He played around 22 to 21 minutes the other game, and he put up 32, okay? He is the de facto highest projected person to hit fantasy score as far as PrizePicks line, my model projection. He's at 32, model has him at 43. That's insane. He should be the play of the day, but I can't do it because I'm afraid of the blowout. But if he does play 4 quarters, if Miles Turner can get on that court and somehow play for 31 minutes tonight, this is clearing, unless foul trouble or something like that. But if he gets in foul trouble, he's not going to play 31 minutes. So 31 minutes, Miles Turner is going to get 32.5 fantasy points, buddy. I had his rebounds at 7.5 yesterday. They bumped it to 8. I still like his rebounds at 7.5 if you can find it. I wouldn't take it at 8, but he's absolutely in play. All right, guys. It's a 14-game slate. There's literally a ton of plays. I could have this video go on for 30 to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, all the minutes I could have it go on for, but I'm not going to because I have to save myself for later. Pause. Now, if you do want all my plays and you want to get in my live stream where I'm going to build the slips, and I'm going to help you answer your questions with everything that I can and give all of you the questions and answers that you need. I will be doing that in my Discord today later on around 3 Central. All you have to do, CaptainCrush.net, you can go to the gold package, bang, click buy now. You can pay monthly or you can get the 6-month package, which is discounted. It'll take you all the way to the end of NBA season, and you can get in my live streams. And here's the deal. It's not just about the picks, my friend. You will get to hear the live streams and ask your questions, but on top of that, you get access to me. I will answer your questions during the day if I can. I'll review your slips. On top of that, you get everyone else in the community, but you will learn from the best. And that means your process will become better. If this is a hobby, something you actually are investing money in, it's critical, imperative that you have a good process. If you're just watching YouTube videos and looking at Twitter accounts to make plays, you're never going to be long-term winner. You're never going to be satisfied. Invest in yourself, invest in your hobby, people. Again, people don't understand this, but I spend $250 to $300 a month in research tools and simulation models. That is what I do, okay? It's ridiculous, but it's part of it. You have to. It's like playing golf. I tell you guys all the time, it's like playing golf. You have to pay for the balls and stuff. It costs money to do this. You got to spend money to make money. And also, you support your boy, and everybody who doesn't want to support their boy. So here's what you do. You can go there, but also you can subscribe to the YouTube and like the video, buddy. Like the video helps me out. It helps the algorithm, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're new to the channel and you got something to say in the comments, let me know about it. Let me know what you think. But the final thing, I found him, Nick Richards, 8 points. Listen, Nick Richards comes off the bench. He's a low profile type of guy. He's second to Mark Williams, but listen to this. The man has been getting it done, and I wanted to include him because he's in a smash spot. As the day goes on, they're going to be adding role players to this list. If anything shows up that I like, I will post it, but this was the last one I wanted to talk about. Nick Richards, 8 points. Again, for my full list and everything else, there's a lot more that I like. It's in the cord. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Here's the salute. Good luck tonight in all your contests, and as always, let's crush.